Okay, this is Orlando Wilson, and what I want to talk about in this video is selecting hotels, which is something, if you travel a lot, if you're a traveler, is very important as far as your personal security is concerned, your security, your privacy, etc. In my business, the close protection investigations business, there's been many times where I'm traveling for extended periods of time, living out of hotels, Airbnbs, etc. So I understand how things work just a little bit. To me, I would sooner these days stay in Airbnbs. Why? Because firstly, they're more secure, you have more privacy, and you have more flexibility. If I'm staying in hotels, I would sooner stay in the smaller boutique hotels rather than the larger chain hotels. There's been numerous times where I've been placed in hotels or assigned to hotels because of clients, etc., etc. And some of them, yes, they've been very nice. On the brochures, they might be 5-star, they might be top, but as far as security is concerned, they suck. Why? Because most of the larger chain hotels, they're more interested in just filling up rooms, and once the clients are in the room, the guests are in the room, taking as much money off them as possible. The actual security of the guests is not their priority. One of the issues I have with the larger chain hotels, with larger hotels in general, access control to most hotels is not that, how can we say, not that well enforced. It's very easy for anybody to walk in off the street and gain access to the hotel bars, restaurants, etc., and also to the guest floors. Even if the elevators, even if you're required to use a key card in the elevators to get to the guest floors, the chances are if you go into, say, the kitchens, the housekeeping areas, the housekeeping elevators, the kitchen elevators for room service generally have free access to the hotel, the guest floors. So if a bad guy wants to get access to the hotel room floors, they can't go in through the elevators. The guest elevators, they can go in through the service elevators. And again, it's very easy for somebody to follow somebody into a guest elevator, and when a guest is in the elevator and they use their key card to gain access to their floor, just follow them out onto that floor. Then the bad guy has access to the guest floors. So this is where, as long as somebody is half decently dressed, it's very easy for them to get access to the guest floors in most larger chain hotels if they're a little bit wise and if they want to do so. This is where on the smaller boutique hotels, the chances are the reception staff and the staff in that hotel know who all the guests are. If somebody comes in from the outside and they're not recognized, the staff will quickly be alerted. Also, on the smaller hotels, it's very difficult for strangers to blend in, even if they're going to the bars, to the restaurants, etc. So this is the advantage of going to the smaller boutique hotels. To me, you tend to get a better standard of service anyway, a more personal standard of service, but they're also a lot safer for access control. To me, if you're traveling, even if you're being assigned hotels by your corporation, I know a lot of companies these days, they farm out their travel arrangement, their travel management to travel companies. If you're being sent to a hotel, do your research beforehand, because again, a lot of these travel companies, they're just interested in putting guests in hotels and making a profit. Before you go to a hotel, before you go to an Airbnb, a hotel, etc., do your threat assessment. Do your threat assessment on not only just on the hotel, on the Airbnb, but also on the surrounding areas, the country, etc. And have your protocols in place, have your procedures in place, from everything from dealing with somebody knocking on your door, to a medical emergency, to a fire, to a terrorist attack, etc. But this is where your personal security is up to you. And if you think that, I know a lot of people when they travel, they expect, because they believe the BS that's being put out by the travel companies, by the hotels, etc., that these people actually care about the guests' security. Chances are they're not. So always have your plans and procedures and your own protocols in place in case there's an emergency. If you go to a hotel or an Airbnb and you think there's an issue or you're not comfortable, change. If you're worried about cameras in the place, etc., a simple way to defeat cameras is book into one hotel room, and when you get to the hotel, change rooms, etc. If you're going to an Airbnb, again, you should always search, check around the apartment, check around the house, look for cameras, look for contraband, look for anything out of place. And if you find anything out of place, move. This is where generally when I book an Airbnb, I've already researched some hotels in the area, which if there's an issue, I can move to a hotel until I find another apartment, etc. So again, as I said, your personal security is up to you. Don't expect other people to value your security as much as you do. So do your research, have your plans in place to deal with any emergencies. It's your responsibility, not somebody else's. In the meantime, follow me along on social media. I have an array of these videos up that talk about various aspects of travel security, close protection, etc., etc., etc. I also have a book up on Amazon, amongst other books, that talk specifically about travel security. So check out my books, check out my videos, check out the articles that's up on my blog, up on the website, and that should answer a lot of your questions as far as travel security, selecting hotels, etc. is concerned. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. We offer an array of travel management and travel security services. In the meantime, be good, and as always, try to stay out of trouble.